Block Boy Radio.
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 Block Boy Radio. Block Boy Radio.
All right, so you're done 15 years. You decided not to go back. Well, that's when you started your own business into your what it is now, right? UAG.
Yeah. So Ultimate Athlete Gym. When you get fired and don't go back, you got to figure out really quick what are you going to do now. You know, especially when you have kids and family. So I took a hard look about myself and see what I wanted to change, who I wanted to be, and how I can still inspire and help people.
That's right.
And so I was like, you know what? I've always been a baseball player. I've always tried to be an athlete, and so I started grinding on myself first, like working out, losing weight, just doing different things. And then I started obviously getting my certifications in personal training, kettlebell training, group TRX training, sports nutritionist, and all that. So while I'm doing all that, I'm working for 24-hour fitness a little bit, and then I'm grinding there, trying to pick up stuff like how do they sell memberships, how do all this happen, trying to build a business.
Yeah.
I stayed there for a little bit, grinding, picking up stuff, and then I was like, I can do this myself.
That's right.
I'm gonna do it with me.
Yeah.
And so then as soon as I can pick up some clients, social media came around
Okay.
around this time, and I was like, okay, UAG Fitness, and you got to get a DBA and do all these different things. And so as soon as I can pick up some clients to make enough money that I was making over here, and that blew up quick. Like all of a sudden, social media, and they saw, it all begins with foundation. I worked on myself.
Yeah.
Once I worked on myself, people believe, right? You look like a Greek god, which I don't look like a Greek god, but if you look good or you're doing some stuff, people come to you.
Yeah.
They want your advice. And so as soon as I got that and got some people, I left that job, and then my business blew up really quick.
Wow.
That's mad props. Because, I know people that have gone to you and you've done some transformations. And I like leading by example, you know what I'm saying? Because, it gives you credibility. You worked on yourself. You have something to show for it. Then people, you're leading by example. People come to you and you help transform. Some people that we know, I think 70 pounds transformation. And just, I'm sure it's even more than just pounds, the mental, right? The mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think that's exactly what you said is the most important part is I wanted to change the way people think.
Yes.
If you change the way you think, the whole slogan for my Ultimate Athlete Gym was, I change the way you think, I change the way you train, and then it should change the way you live.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And so we start with the mind, and then we can change the way you train, and then we change the way you live. But
that's right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That shit even flows.
Yeah. But it's a trip because you said you started about 8 years ago?
Yep.
And in 8 years, you've been able to do triathlons.
Yeah.
You've been doing marathons. And you even came out, in your book.
Yep.
Ironman?
Ironman, yeah. Ironman is a full distance triathlon, which is 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and then a marathon at the end, so 26.2 mile run.
And you did all that?
All that in like 16, 17 hours, yeah.
How do you stay focused on something like that?
Well, you know what? If I'm gonna preach to try to change people's mind, body, and soul, and all of that, I better speak the truth and do it myself.
Lead by example.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so once I started working on myself and understanding, and figuring out that I better do some hard things, because look, when I started this business, I was older. A lot of personal trainers, they're younger, they're fitter, they're better looking, all this stuff, right? That's all good. Yeah. So what do I bring to the plate? I'm older, right? But I bring law enforcement, right? None of these trainers have a law enforcement experience. None of them have been involved in 3 shootings. None of them work the gangs of LA, right?
Yeah.
So how do I make mine different?
Yep.
Right? How do I try to help people rather than just look better? I try to help them by saying, hey, look, it's not about looking better. It's about being better.
That's right.
It's about making sure that you're able to take care of yourself outside when you leave the gym, that you're careful, that you're able to run if there's shootings, that you're able to handle yourself, that your mindset is different because you've conquered this workout. So now we're slowly building your mind to be calloused, to get stronger in your mind, body, and soul. Trainers sometimes nowadays, the younger ones, they just, oh, man, you're losing body fat. Oh my God, this and that. That'll all come if you work on the mind and you train and you stay disciplined. And so I think I bring a little bit of a different thing because I'm not that guy that you're going to look at and go, he's a trainer? I don't care about that. But I'll beat you in an ultra marathon. You ain't going to beat my mind. for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to try to change people's mindset.
Wow.
That's powerful. Man. That's
That
dope.
I know that's necessary. Who is there a certain type of client that you reach out, or is it just anybody?
Yeah, so anybody who reaches out to me, right?
Okay.
Anybody who kind of, I work out of my house.
Okay.
So it's not like I have a business where people drive by and see, hey, Ultimate Athlete Gym, let me check it out. I am on Yelp, I am on all the social medias, and all that. But anybody who comes to me that wants to grind and change anything, we have a good sit down, we have a good assessment, and we go over why are you here, why do you want to change, and how hard do you want to work.
Yeah.
But after like the weekend warriors, what I like to call people that are trying to lose weight and get better, I do specifically athletes as well, baseball and softball, because that's where I came from. So I do a lot of local baseball team players in high school or middle school, Notre Dame, Alamany, Simi Valley, Granada Hills.
Dope. That's dope. And then your nickname is the Rockdown Trainer?
The Rockdown Trainer. Yeah.
How'd you get that?
Yeah. So through the sheriff's department, well, right before you can graduate the academy, there's a kind of a test that you have to go through, and it's called the Rockdown. They put you through the gauntlet, like fighting, boxing, using the radio, grappling, and all this whole thing that they really, really almost people throw up. And I remember that specifically, and I went back to actually be a trainer in one of those, and I just thought it was fitting to what I do and the way I train people, and so it became the Rockdown Trainer.
That's dope.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And starting this new business, what would you say one of the obstacles you have had, or hard times?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest thing was it wasn't definitely it wasn't being real, who I was and what I was doing. The hardest thing I had was learning how to run a business. You know what I'm saying? How to make money and keep it.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. Being myself and training people and showing them how it's done and nutrition, that came easy because I studied it, I knew it, I had lived it. But never knew how to run a business, how to run the books, how to do payroll, what expenses were, and all that stuff, and then how to keep retention, like how to keep clients coming back for a year, right? Oh yeah, hey, my thing's gonna be $1,000. Well, nobody's gonna stick and pay $1,000 every month.
Yeah.
What's the right price point? How do I keep them coming back? How do I advertise without me advertising? How do I get you guys to advertise through social media, wearing brand shirts?
That's right.
Doing co-authoring and books and stuff like that. So trying to do all that I didn't know anything about was very difficult.
And how did you learn?
Hands-on, brother. Making mistakes.
So you self-taught?
Oh yeah. I didn't go to no school. I picked people's brains, right? When I could, but there wasn't a lot of brains to pick for me in regards to like personal training. But questions, get around people, socialize, network, talk. And then just learn the social media or the internet, and just self-taught. You lose money sometimes, you waste money, but it is what it is. You learn from that and say, okay, that didn't work. I mean, I had made flyers one time and try to go to Balboa Park or baseball things and put flyers. Call me. I didn't get one person from that.
Oh wow.
But a lot of it has been word of mouth.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is if I do well, you're going to tell somebody about me because you made a change. You're a better person for that.
Yeah.
So when somebody hits you up and says, man, what'd you do? You look really good. Or, man, you're a different person. I hope that you tell him about me and then he's going to call me.
Okay.
So I think that's the best advertising I can have.
Word of mouth from the people that firsthand.
What about, what's your high point
For
you, like doing this? Like what year, like, man, I'm proud of I did that. Like,
man, there's been a lot. It's a short time that I've done a lot of these ultra runs and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's a lot because everything was a stepping stone, and every little. The way I look at it is every little brick is a high point.
Okay.
That's a win, and there's not a stop. You keep going. So like the first time I did a marathon, and then the second time I did a marathon, and then I did this challenge where I did a marathon a month for a year. And that was super much. And then I said, let me do something else, 1,000 push-ups a day for 30 days. Yeah. Well, let me do something else. Let me do an ultra marathon. Okay, let me do a triathlon. And so every one was a win for me, and it continues to be a win. And so now, like this year, I just finished doing a 4x4x48, which is 4 miles in 4 hours every 48 hours. And we went to Lake Arrowhead. Just did it this last weekend, and it was amazing because we went through a winter storm. I never ran in storm. Who says, hey, it's storming outside, let me go run. So that was really cool, and that's a win.
Yeah.
And it's just every little thing. If you take it like that, what you guys are doing right here, this is a win. This is an experience for you guys. And each time that you guys are doing a podcast, you're getting better.
Yeah.
Right? And so I take every little thing as a win,
That's
a
dope.
great way to look at it.
Yeah.
What do you think about fasting?
Oh, I fasted for 5 days about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So there's intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And then there's the fasting for what's called autophagy. Okay. Intermittent fasting just called time eating. So like you're 16/8, right? Usually you're sleeping a lot more or you're awake a lot more for 16 hours, and we eat a lot more. So our calories are higher, and we end up gaining some weight. That's okay if you can, eat the right portion foods. But I do fasting for what's called autophagy, which is cleaning out the old cells and regenerating new cells.
Is that like the reset that they
Correct.
consider?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
And how long does that take?
well, it depends how much you're carb loaded. So if you eat a lot of carbs, and so your muscle's going to store some carbs in what's called glycogen, and it's going to take you a little bit longer to get into what's called like ketosis, or have your body start eating itself up, right? But if you kind of eat well right before that, you can get into it in probably 24 hours. Sometimes maybe 36, 48 hours.
Oh,
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
You'll
dope.
feel it. You'll feel the wow, I feel really good. I'm not hungry. But you go through some stuff. If you can stay disciplined and strong, and all it is water and black coffee. So water, and then I had two, one in the morning, one at night, black coffee, because it actually speeds up what's called autophagy. Yeah.
Are you spiritual?
I grew up spiritual. I believe in God and all that, but I not as much. Yeah.
Because mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Okay. What does the soul
The soul
aspect part mean to you? Because I think you mentioned that earlier. Right?
Yeah, mind, body, and soul. So the soul part for me means that don't stop having fun. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed the soul
feel
too.
it, exactly,
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just that soul part is about like, hey, I run ultra marathons, I do all this, but everybody's like, oh, you must not eat a donut. Like, hell yeah, I love donuts. You must not drink. Hell no, I love whiskey. You got to enjoy and feed that soul part as well. Try to live a balanced life. You can't just be this way.
That's what's
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Balance. Yeah.
yeah.
I like what you said earlier about like the training, how you train people, like you train them physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
I think that's so. You're like basically, you're building people like their resiliency to be
Correct.
able to deal with adversity, like
Absolutely.
life stressors, and
Yeah.
body stressors.
Well, that's the
That's
number one
powerful.
thing. That's the number one thing. If we want to change, we got to change the way we think, the way we talk, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll give you an example. Back in the day, remember Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah.
Hurricane Katrina came out, knocked all of New Orleans, Louisiana,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Well, before that happened, the state had asked for money because their school system was horrible, the worst in the nation. They'd asked for money from the state, money from federal government. They weren't getting it. Hurricane Katrina came in, knocked everything out, killed people. Unfortunately, it was a great catastrophe. But after that, they got all the money they needed, and right now they're one of the best school systems in the nation. And so what I think about all that is sometimes we have to go through hard times. We have to go through our own catastrophe. We have to go through our own obstacles and adversity in order to get better. Unfortunately, that's where we have to go. But
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people want it easy. Our mindset, we want easy, right? We're our mind and our bodies built to survive and built to be happy,
Yeah.
right? But that's not the way we grow. We grow from adversity. As long as we can stick to it and overcome it and grind from our own adversity.
Yeah, I agree. Growth.
Yeah.
Growth, yeah.
A lot. You're a personal trainer with your own gym and your home, right? So a lot of people probably don't see that how you could benefit from this, or how can you make money, or what can you maintain, right? So having this type of business, what have you been able to do? I'm pretty sure like maintain your own bills. What else has it done to you?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I was looking for the big picture.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a gym, go lease a building, 5,000 square feet, do this, and all kinds of plans, get a business loan and do all that. Then I had a meeting with somebody who had a business actually.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, how many clients do you have? I said, I don't have any right now. They're like, okay, so then why do you want to get a place? You have no clients. And I said, well, that's the goal. And they said, look, start from your house first, and then outgrow that. And when you're ready to outgrow that, then move on to the next step and the next step, right? And so I started from my house, and I started realizing that working out of the house is really convenient, really cool, right? First of all, and there's less overhead,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing to pay. Everything gets written off, water, all these different things the tax purposes are really good. There are hard parts about it, but look, COVID hit. all these businesses went out of, they were shut down.
Yeah.
Who do you think everybody was coming to?
Yeah.
To the place that was still open at the house.
Yeah.
Nobody wasn't, nobody shut me down. Nobody
Yeah.
came and says, they didn't even know I was running a business there, right? The hard part is I don't run a business where people can
Yeah.
drive through and see me, right? So my business has to be made on performance of my clients.
Yeah.
That's right.
Seeing the change in them, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, all these different things, and then them telling somebody else. I am on Yelp, and so Yelp has gotten me a couple people, which is
That's
really
dope.
cool,
Dope.
and social media, which has helped. But so the business has allowed me to have more time with my family, my
Okay.
girls. Financially, we do well. My wife's a current law enforcement officer in the LA County Sheriff's Department. She's a detective.
Dope.
It's a struggle, but the money I took away from
Yeah.
the Sheriff's Department helped us pass that time until I got really good where our bills could, we can
Yeah.
pay.
Well, what's the next step for you? Like, what's your next goal?
Yeah, so I just started a nonprofit called Way to the Badge, and it's to help law enforcement get in better mind, body, and soul through health and fitness and nutrition, and to educate them that if we want change and better relationships with the community, then they need to be better. And so it's a nonprofit to establish that. I just sent in the paperwork. I have an Instagram on there that it's WOTB_911.
That's right.
Way
We'll
to
put the
Badge.
link up right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I just started that, and I think that would be the main goal to get to, because that's a passion of mine, to give back to them, to make them better, and to give back to the community any which way. And it's not just LA, but it's nationwide. And so I'm hoping that we can get some grants and loans and people to sponsor and events and stuff like that, and get some money rolling so that we can get some money for that.
Nice.
And then, so it would be to train law enforcement to better take care of themselves and to be more.
Yeah, it's more of an educational purpose through everything, through fitness, exercising, nutrition, and then talk to them a little bit about how important it is to make better choices while they're out on the street and patrol and all that stuff. And I think because I came from, the LA County Sheriffs and working gangs and all that stuff, I have a little bit of validity that they're going to look at and go, well, that guy was there. He's telling the truth, not just the trainer coming in.
Shit, a lot of validity.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Be like,
Yeah, and not just the trainer coming in saying, you have to eat this and we have to eat our veggies. It's a guy who actually worked the streets and was in that process. So I have a little bit of validity to say, I was a trainer. I was a police officer, and now I'm a trainer, and look at me now.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
And,
dope.
I'm just thinking, like, man, you grew up in the hood. A lot of people probably knew you from the hood. You were a cop, right? And now you're running a business. Like, you came a long way. From, like, you could easily gone a different way if no one really, your parents didn't watch out for you, and your homies didn't watch out for you. Like, when you look back, what are you thinking, like, from back then to now? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed to, first of all, have the family that I did. My dad, my mom, that guided us and took care of not only us, but the community around us, right? And then you have the kids and the friends that I grew up with that were into gangs that also took care of us, that guided us in the right way.
Yeah.
And then I have my baseball family, that also, kept on having the love for the sport. I look back and say, man, I did everything. I joined the Sheriff's Department to try to help. I had the right intentions. It didn't work out that way, the way I wanted it to, because I'm wearing a uniform. And so now, how else can I help? And now here I am 8 years later, being a strength and conditioning coach, a personal trainer, sports nutrition certified, and I'm trying to help people in different ways doing that. And so I think this chapter of my life has definitely been more satisfying, because I think I see it more in my face rather than when I was a law enforcement officer, whether I helped somebody or not. I took them to jail or I let them go. You don't see those results. But here I can have people and I see the results, whether it be through their mind, their body, or their soul.
Yeah. Do you ever still see some people from back in the days?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. They've changed. I have clients right now that I trained, 4 or 5 years ago. I started them on their first marathon, and they're going to be running the LA Marathon, in 2 weeks. That's coming up.
Nice.
They're still doing it, so it's amazing.
What about back in the hood? Because you said your mom still lives in the hood, right?
Oh yeah. So my mom still lives there, man. Same place where we grew up. Same 1-bedroom apartment. Just instead of upstairs, went downstairs. I haven't seen a lot of the people that I grew up with. Some of the kids that played ball. Unfortunately, I'd love to say thank you to some of them, and just say thanks for keeping me out of trouble more than anything. There is a story. I was hanging out in Burbank really quick, and I'm there with my wife, and we're having some drinks, and somebody sends over a pitcher of beer. Oh man, thank you, appreciate it. As we're hanging out, we're about to leave. I send them over a pitcher of beer, right? And they look like they had just come out from work, construction, or like worked in Burbank's a lot of that industry of the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So I go over there, send him a beer. And before I leave, I'm say, hey, thank you. So I go over, shake his hand. Hey, man, I think I know you. Really? Yeah, you and your mom grow up over here. So I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, man. Knows the family, knows Martinez, my brother, me. Cool, man. So it just kind of stuck in my head that my mom had been telling me that some youngsters from North Hollywood or C14 had been tagging up right on the brick wall that was right there all the time. They just kept on doing it. So I go, hey, man, my mom, she keeps on getting this graffiti there, man. She's tired of, like, cleaning it up and stuff. What? Let me see. Made a quick phone call. Follow me. Had the youngsters who were tattooing, don't mess up with this place. Had them wipe it down, and that wall has been clean the whole time.
Oh,
It was some
wow.
shot collar that nowadays, and he says there was a Pee-wee's doing that. And so I just think it goes back to when we were growing up, the respect that we gave each other because we
Yeah.
grew up together, that, my dad and my mom and who we were, that it goes back even till now, that my mom still lives there and she still has some people go down over there and help her out, or help her out if they see her at a grocery store. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Community.
Yeah, that's crazy that even 30-something years they're still taking care of each other.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
That means I'm only like 38.
Before we wrap it up, like, if someone wants to be a personal trainer,
Yeah.
what advice, or want to run their own gym like you do,
Yeah.
obviously they'll look and be like, man, what advice can I take? What advice would you give them if they want to start something like that?
Be real. Be real. Do it for the right reasons. Do it to help people, and don't try to fake. Don't try to be the best looking person out there. Work hard, work on yourself first, and know the business. Because one thing is helping out people, which is great, but if you're going to do it for a business and make money, you got to understand that game too, which it took me a couple years to figure that out. But yeah, do it, but do it for the right intentions.
Yeah.
That goes even for law enforcement or going, because I think you mentioned that was like one of your reasons you wanted to get into that, right? To help out the community and the people.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, look, if you don't own up, if you don't do anything for the right intentions, don't be doing it at all. In anything you do. But if you do the things for the right intention, it doesn't work out. At least you can say you did it for the right reasons.
Yeah. That's true.
And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't. So.
All right. If someone wants to join your gym, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so UAG Fit on IG, on my Instagram. I'm also on Facebook under Martinez Julio Cesar.
Okay.
On Yelp under Ultimate Athlete Gym. And then if you want to follow the nonprofit, which is WOTB _911. So it's Weight of the Badge _911 for the nonprofit.
That's on IG too? Or
That's an IG too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if they want to cop gear and clothing,
Yeah,
Or
right
like
now
books.
I haven't come up with new ones yet, which I know a lot of the members and clients have been wanting these, which is really cool. I like the
that.
design.
Yeah.
And so the book, you can hit me up, DM me. I'll send it to you. I've sent it to all kinds of places. And when I get new gear, they will go on UAG Fitness or UAG Fit, and I can get them some shirts.
Is there a website too, or just strictly IG right now?
No, I had a website, brother. I'll be honest with you, and it didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
People, want a website just to be what they call real. Oh, you're a real gym. But you know what? Word of mouth has always been my thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, these days we got social media, right? You don't really need a website like back in the day.
Yeah.
But appreciate that. We'll be putting all the links,
Appreciate it.
It'll be up here too.
I was doing like this before.
No,
but
it's usually up here and down there in the comments, all the details. Hey, I want to say thank you for coming out.
Thank
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
And sharing, because a lot of people, you gone through things that people don't like talking about. Like you talked a little bit about the hood. You talked about some diversity and as being, in the sheriffs.
Yeah.
And then, being in the gym now and, like some of the struggles and a lot of the benefits, right?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you sharing and telling us and, letting us go personal and asking you questions. So thank you for coming out.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, thank you
thank
so
you.
much. I mean, you got to be real, The
Yeah.
past is the past. Whatever, we are all human, and things happen like that. And so I don't mind any questions or any other thing like that. So
Appreciate
That's
that.
dope. That's dope. Well, word of mouth has connected us because I remember meeting a group of women that are working on and you're out of your gym that you're training them, and they were just raving about you until we finally met at the carne asada or the party.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's it. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I wasn't
So that's
having
dope.
tortillas
Keep it going.
either, right?
Okay, so you're doing the protein tacos with lettuce?
Pure protein, bro.
that's
I'm just
right.
kidding. I'm joking. I was still having some
right.
drinks. So.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll have another carne asada and beer soon too.
For sure.
So, hey, thank you once again.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you coming out. Hey, thanks again for sharing and following us. And you know what to do. So, thanks a lot, Block Boy.
Subscribe.
Block Boy Radio.
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 Block Boy Radio. Block Boy Radio.